You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Today we are going back to our tight-ass roots and playing the cheapest pile of shit we could find. This is a bargain review.
Hello there, I'm Mitch.
And I'm Dave, and we are the Bargain Bin Gamers. Wow, look at that. Are you sick of it yet? Because I'm not.
Let's keep going.
I know.
So this is the podcast, YouTube channel, and Twitch stream where we play the cheapest and shittiest games, so you don't have to.
And hopefully we find a few hidden gems along the way.
But not today.
Not today. No. No. And no.
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 I don't think there's any more English no's we could have.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I think about how Michelle Obama said that when they go low, we go high. This time we've gone so fucking low. Like what would you use to describe the depths of just shit that we have today?
Mindless, brain dead, cheap shit. It's a disrespect to the art form that is game creation.
It is actually, and look, I'm going to get on my high horse about this today, but not quite yet. Not quite yet. What have we been playing?
So today we've been playing a garbage game, which was made by a garbage developer, which was released with a garbage price tag called Ruthless Carnage Hotline.
Yeah, and calling it a game and calling the developer a developer, I think, is being insanely polite.
Yeah, I was trying to start this off nicely, and then we were going to, peaks and valleys. But
yeah, look, we chose this game. I was like, all right, we need to do a bargain review, Mitch, because we're the bargain bin gamers.
Pop my cherry and get into that bargain bin game.
Exactly. I mean, fucking, so far, all we've done together is talk about all the games that no one can really buy anymore.
Because they're all
and
so
a game
old.
that cost $170.
We're not really on trend. Not on brand.
No. So we're here today promising up. We're just doing what we said we'd do, and we're playing a shitty fucking game.
Contractually obligated by the title of our podcast.
Yeah. So, look, this delight was on the Nintendo Switch. It comes from a company called VRC Forge Studios and was released on the 31st of August 2024. So, Mitch, you put probably more time into this than I did.
And that's not much, by the way. I just want everyone to know I did play this game. Gun to my head, I played it, but I would have rather been pulling my own teeth out than play this game. If that is any example of what I'm going to be saying for the rest of this review.
I would have rather someone nailed my dick to a cheap IKEA desk while someone stuck a drill bit up my ass.
That old thing.
That old thing. And trust me, it's had a few drill bits in its time.
Oh my God. Those pints have really got to you, girl.
Do you have to let it? Okay. So we have a few drinks before we do the show, okay? All right?
It makes us palatable, like my dad.
I know. It's how we managed to stand each other for an hour here at Bulldog Studios St Kilda. All right. Okay. Let's talk about this game.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Take it away. What's it about?
Nothing. The game is about nothing. So I've tried to go through and segment the portions out into different things, and I got to the the story part, and I was stumped. The game is basically about nothing. So full disclosure.
What's the concept?
You shoot people. It's crime. That's it.
Okay.
There's nothing. So the story itself, from what I gathered from the 3 levels that I managed to make it through before punching my Nintendo Switch through a wall, you are on a train. There are mind-controlled goons attempting to shoot at you, and there is a talking cat that is giving you mission briefs.
I remember the talking cat.
Yeah, very cute.
Yeah.
Grammatical error in the first text.
There was also a
box,
dancing guy in the first level.
Yeah, he was like the only guy that wasn't being brainwashed by the green-haired anime girl that was controlling all of them.
I did not get that far.
Yeah, not that exciting.
He had voice acting.
I was gagged.
Yeah.
I was like, they spent money on this game.
I know.
Not much.
I know.
Do you reckon that was just a developer voicing that?
We'll get on to that later, but maybe.
But the way that I thought about it was just nonsense for the sake of nonsense. It was just the skin of a story stretched around a game that people have played before, Hotline Miami, in a worse way, with worse graphics and no story. And I'm pretty sure a big draw of that game is the great story. So when you take away the great story, and we'll get to it, the bad gameplay that this game has, you kind of just have like a husk of what a game is.
Yeah, 'cause it's a shoot. It's attempting to be a shoot 'em up of some sort, right? So the few levels I played, I was on a train.
Mm-hmm. They're the first 3 levels. To my knowledge, after that, you're actually in an apartment complex. So they do change. How exciting.
Oh, good, because I could not be fucked getting that far.
Me either.
I know. God, we have to make an hour podcast out of this. All right. So,
Oh, I can, and it's just us bitching the whole time.
yeah. So, okay, so Hotline Miami or whatever it's called, I'm familiar with that game, right?
Yeah.
And that's this really like over the top isometric shooter kind of thing. So is it just a ripoff? Is it 100% just a ripoff?
It's worse than a ripoff. It's a derivative ripoff.
It's just derivative.
Trite. Instead of ripping off it shamelessly, it does rip it off shamelessly and then tweaks it in order. It's almost like it's like when you give your friend all the answers to the test and you say, just change them a little bit. That's what's happened. They've changed the camera position. They've made it in 3 dimension instead of the 2D version.
Yeah.
And they've hyper-colored the game instead of having it with that washout color.
Yeah.
And that's... Oh, and it's just worse. Like, it's just a worse version. So it's pretty shameless, but it's shameless in a way that's money-grabbing and soulless. It's soulless.
It is soulless, yeah. It reminds me of when I was a young warthog.
It was a young
warthog.
Very nice.
I know. Did not even rehearse that. That's just how in sync we are. By the way.
Magnesium.
FYI. So back in the day, and I think this still kind of happens. So when there was big blockbuster movies, there was always what they would call the straight-to-video version of that movie, right? So if there was Independence Day, there was like Alien Invasion on Boxing Day, like
Not Boxing Day.
starring Michael Ironside.
How am I
if
going
anyone
to
remember.
How am I going to get to Big W for my Boxing Day sale? Please, not the aliens.
No one goes to Big W for a Boxing Day sale. They're all lined up in Gucci in the city. Or Maya. Probably not Gucci. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that. But that's what it reminds me of. So literally, it was just they would knock together something cheap and nasty that looked like the movie that was really, really popular.
And ride that hype a little bit.
Exactly.
Catch the strays.
And I would watch those movies.
Of course you would. Look at your taste level. Look at the host choice.
I know, because it was like storyline porn without the sex and some fun CGI.
That was bad, but I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We pointed and we laughed.
So anyway, that's what this reminds me of.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's also, you kind of triggered that memory where it's almost like those really bad, like direct to DVD sequels of like beloved films where you watch it and you're like, this is all just carbon copied and ripped off from the first one. And you've made no attempt to be original in any way. Why are you taking my money? It's pretty much how they operate, to me at least. I can never watch them, so I can only imagine that the type of movies you're talking about, which I haven't seen, are pretty much the same.
Yeah, you're thinking of like the Disney straight-to-video sequels of the 1990s. The Return of Jafar is actually a classic, and you should go and watch it. Ding! And actually, The Lion King 2 is pretty good as well.
I will take it back. Yeah, The Lion King 2 is pretty good.
Yeah. Little Mermaid 2, go fuck yourself.
Oh, see, I like The Little Mermaid too. Oh, contentious. We'll take this off.
Yeah, okay. That's our other podcast.
You don't know about it yet.
The bargain bin Disney
Movie
sequels.
But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's exactly like that. And that was, I have never played Hotline Miami Hotline.
Neither have I, no.
I've heard it being lauded though. So I remember when I was going into this game, I was like, ooh, how exciting. Funny thing that I actually noticed about that. So this is called Ruthless Carnage Hotline.
Ruthless Carnage Hotline. Before we hit record, we had to remind ourselves 10 times what this game is called.
It's a conglomeration of words that mean nothing because it has nothing to do with the game. Yeah. But when you load the game,
conglomeration.
So you've got the title, but when you load the game and you have the screen, it just says Ruthless Carnage. there's no hotline. So I have a crackpot theory that they've just tacked hotline on it because they're like, well, we're shamelessly ripping it off, but I want people to know that it's like that to catch those strays that I mentioned, because it's not in the game. Like when you load the game up, the screen says Carnage Hotline.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, fucking Ruthless Carnage. Fuck this game. Anyway, but I think it's kind of shameless, really. Like it's just shameless. Like if you're gonna rip something off, at least do a good job with it and not just half-ass it, which this has. But yeah, I noticed that. But also the gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, I've played it, and tell me, do you need to hold my hand for this? Like, all right.
This was the worst thing you've ever done to me in our many years of friendship.
I've done some fucked up things to him. Let me tell you the stories about our trip to San Francisco during Dory Alley.
We're not doing that.
No, we're not doing that on microphone.
Also, I'm getting sweaty.
Okay, sorry. All right, that was really awkward. Our boyfriends watch this.
Hello.
They don't.
I mentioned it before, but like the attention to detail isn't there. The grammatical error in the first text box of the game. I'm sorry. I know I sound like a whingy bitch, but it is that attention to detail that games that we love, that we play, have. And I know that this has no attention to detail. It's just a smack a label on it, print some code into it and ship it off and discount it by 80% so that people buy it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it just reads the second you start. So you've got 13 stages. Like I said, I only made it through 3. You have to play through the whole game in order to access them, but they show you all of them, so at least you know what you're in for.
Yep.
But it's just... yeah, it's basically a game that begs you to put it down. It's a game. I'm sorry.
It's a game that begs not to be played.
It pretty much is. Like the controls of the game are tacked and not very well mapped with the game. It's supposed to be like
Oh, it's not intuitive at all.
No. I feel like I'm learning another language playing the game. Like I'm so used to a certain type of way to play a game that this is completely foreign to me. But the game wants you to move with the left stick, aim with the right stick, and use the trigger buttons, which I guess I can get behind. But the game has an auto aim feature. So when I'm aiming the game and I aim it, it'll sometimes just snap it to a different person, which is very infuriating. A lot of these gameplay mechanics are very infuriating. So you've got that. But then also sometimes your game just won't shoot.
No.
I'll just sit down, I'll be pressing the button. I'm like, I have ammo.
Yeah.
Oh, you've made me reload for 15 seconds or something that it fucking takes to reload in this game. And I'm pressing the button and I'm just getting shot in the face.
Yeah.
And it just won't shoot. And I'm like, who the fuck made this game? Oh, wait, a dickhead. Sorry.
Point it to me then, like I did it. I just thought we should try it.
How dare you subject
No, I know
me?
exactly what you mean. The first time I played it in handheld mode on the Switch, I was like, I can't figure out what to do. I kept going and looking at the screen that told me what the controls were, and I'm like, none of these are actually working.
They're not actually doing the thing you tell me they're doing.
It reminds me of, so sometimes for the channel, I will go and play older games that I missed that were apparently amazing. And they harken back to a time before there were a very, very well established conventions for controls for most games, right?
They kind of had their own thing going.
Yeah, the buttons do very particular things these days, and you can rely on most games to stick with that convention because it's intuitive and it works. This reminded me of going back to like a game from the 2000s in terms of the controls, because games in the 2000s were good. And this was just... it was garbage. I actually could barely play it in handheld mode because I could not see what was going on.
That was another issue I had. So I'll give you a heads up. I didn't want to give my free time to this game any more than I required it. So
I made him.
I used it. I mostly played it while going to work, and sitting on the train attempting to play it. I was like, I can't fucking see anything. I can't. Like the HUD was very dark. The game itself is very dark, which I think is an attempt to hide a lot of the poor graphics. But also going back to controls, the train cars, you're supposed to jump between them.
Oh my god! Yes.
If anyone's played the game, you get it. But
don't play it.
Yeah, don't give them your money. Okay.
No.
We'll get to that. But the jump is like so animated for nothing. Like you barely go anywhere. And there's a point in the game where you're supposed to cross from a car to another car, but the jump doesn't actually make that gap. And there's no way for you to really make it unless you use that weird ability where he like kicks.
Yeah, so he had an ability that was kind of like a dash.
Yeah, like a dash kick. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would use that to get between the cards.
But even then, it sometimes didn't work. And then
you go all the way back to the start.
oh my fucking God. You don't even have a game over screen. It just ends. It sends you to like a load screen and you start again.
Yeah,
No save
you
file.
go back to the menu.
It's probably the point of the game. I totally get it. Maybe that's the point of these games where it's
There's
like,
not much point to this game.
yeah, if you're not good, like they send you back to the start, like get good, whatever. But like, it's so like jarring. There's no game over. There's no load from save. There's no go back to main menu, which you expect from just like a basic game.
Yeah.
It just like cuts, like hard cuts to an end. And the game didn't even teach me how to play it. It didn't even intuitively teach me what I should be doing. And now you're punishing me for playing you. Why would I keep playing? You made me do this. And it was so frustrating. And then to pivot to another part of the game, there's I don't know if you got to it, there's like lasers in the third level. Did you get to the third level?
No.
So
I got as far as the second level and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
The NPCs are just mindless. The AI is really bad. Sometimes they don't even notice you. But then you've got like environmental dangers, like lasers that like swing.
Yes, actually, no, I do remember those, yes.
Oh my God. So there was one point, and I was kind of running low on health because the drops in this game are really inconsistent. When you kill an enemy, they drop a random thing. And sometimes they'll just drop useless items all the time. And sometimes they'll drop everything you need. Very inconsistent. Anyway.
Yeah.
The laser, I was like hiding behind a wall and the laser hit the wall and went through the wall and killed me.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not supposed to happen, but you've just oversighted this game and now I'm mad and I have to go back to the end. And that was actually where I gave up. I just said, I'm not touching this game.
When a game does not play by its own rules. I had moments too because like your health is quite sparse. And And very randomly, one of the enemies will drop some health. Yeah. I had one time where I was like on my last little Skerix, and I'm just like, if I have to start this fucking level one more time.
Skerix, sorry, pause. Skerix.
Oh, come on, because you want to fucking
I'm adding it to the lexicon.
Lecture someone on the inappropriate use of big words. Do we want to go down that path?
I'll let it go this time. Okay, continue.
You're welcome. So anyway, I'm just on fumes, right? Just running on fumes, and
running on 2 pints and some gnocchi.
running on 2 pints. And I just seriously, this fucking gnocchi I just had. This pub's usually good. Not today.
Shout out to you guys. We're regs. So.
Yeah. Actually, no, Windsor Ale House. Love you guys. Thank you. You're $27. Sunday roast is wonderful. Anyway, I had a fucking story to tell. So I'm running on fumes, right? Got no health. And then one of the bad guys dropped some health. It dropped outside the train. Like, it's out the window. I can see it. It's right there. And I'm like, oh, why can't I just reach out and touch it? I would literally spend 10 minutes trying to see if I could glitch it to let me out and get the health, because I would prefer that to having to go back and start the level again.
My weird game bug that I had, which was they give you like a shotgun, which is supposed to be good. It's actually really shit. Like the pistol is kind of the only thing you should use because it's supposed to be like a point and shoot game. Anyway, is what it is. There was a level where I played where they dropped a shotgun, but no ammo for the shotgun.
Yes, I had that.
So I got the shotgun. And then I could never use it. So I was like, why give it to me? Yeah. But I was doing a bit of research online and it seems like the dropping is very buggy. Like the drops that the enemies actually give you are quite buggy.
Oh, yeah.
And that doesn't surprise me.
That's what's buggy about this game.
Well, this whole thing's like a hive. It's full of that many bugs. But it's just, that really annoyed me as well because I was like, surely that's just like a coding error that you could easily fix. Like general coding, But apparently not. But I'm not a coder though, so don't listen to me.
Yeah. I don't think that much quality testing and assurance went into this. Anyway,
I don't think any did.
How does it look? How does it look? Like, so graphically, look, okay, I'm gonna so Mitch and I were like, okay, we need to review a bargain game. So I was sitting out the front of Audi whilst my partner was shopping with our dog, and I was like, that's how this podcast gets planned, out the front of Audi.
That's when you know you're in for a treat.
Yeah. Different, better.
Shout out to Aldi, by the way.
No, not a sponsor of this show.
Please do, though.
Please do. I love your chicken tendies. Anyway, so I was browsing through the Nintendo store and I was like, oh, this came out today. Oh, this looks kind of cool. Like the screenshots looked all right.
Screenshots were deceiving, by the way.
The
They
screenshots
are
were
zoomed in,
incredibly deceiving.
on them using abilities. It's from this weird like side angle and
Call that
nothing looks like-
isometric.
isometric.
Yeah.
Another big word. But the game like photos make it look like it's like kind of like an up close third person game. Nothing of the sort.
No. It's just an isometric, top down-ish kind of game.
Top down esque.
With terrible graphics, a terrible frame rate.
Terrible frame rate. Just clipping the whole time.
Yeah.
My eyes inevitably just got used to it because it was never changing. It just stayed bad the whole time.
Yeah. And why was there vending machines everywhere? Like, were these passenger trains?
Apparently, but also these were passenger trains filled with boxes in the hallway that didn't move and then sometimes would be easily moved. So they had no real game physics. Did you notice that?
Yeah. One time I accidentally jumped on top of some of the boxes and then my character was suspended midair and I couldn't get anywhere.
Good game. A good choice, by the way. I'm recommending the next one. No, I had a similar thing where it was in this, I think it's the second level, where there's like kind of like a wall of boxes and there's some enemies. And I was pushing them and they were ever so slowly moving. And then it shot out and hit the enemy and bounced off.
Yeah.
But it didn't do damage to the enemy because why would they code that?
Yeah. Why did they do anything in this? All right. Look, okay. Yeah, it's crap. You know, there's nothing redeeming about it visually. Like, it doesn't even have any, like, again, the screenshots in the Nintendo eShop made it look like it might have had like a cool kind of retro-y artsy style. It does not.
It also kind of makes it look like it's going to be a like an Overwatch-esque, like what's that game where the heist games where like you pick like quirky characters that have different abilities, because that's what it says. It says that you have unique abilities. You have one, and they're all a variation of a pink thing. But
a pink thing.
It is. So in the fourth level, I know you.
Because you unlocked another character, didn't you?
Yeah, I unlocked another character, and they have a shield bash.
Oh.
But it's pink. It's the same thing. And it's still just a dash. So it's not really anything different, right?
Yeah.
But in the game, speaking of characters, you collect these like pink diamond things and you can use those to buy a new character. Yeah. So I wanted to list off the characters for you and I want you to guess what they are. Have a guess.
Okay.
Just based on their name, all right?
Okay, sure.
So you know the first one. I figured out his name was Echo. So you know him. He's the light bulb head guy.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just going to say he's some quirky hacker on NCIS.
I think he's supposed to be kind of similar to that. But he's the main one you start with. He's got like a light bulb head and he's got like a green puffer jacket and he's got a bag with a bunch of straps. He's very cool, right? You have Pinksy. I want you to guess, based on the name, what Pinksy is.
Pinksy is some weird little anime character with a prolapsed anus.
Not too far off, to be honest.
Cool. But that's why she speaks so high pitched. She's like, "Oh, I'm Pixie, and my anus prolapsed back in the 90s, and I don't know what to do anymore."
We have gone off the fucking rails today, everyone.
Okay, sorry.
There's no voice acting for these characters, so because that would mean that the developer had to care.
Okay, sorry.
Pinksy is like a weird Care Bear mascot.
Oh,
it's very.
I was close.
You were close if they're pink.
Yeah.
They're very like I can't remember that game where like they are the mascots that are like they've got like the mascot heads and they're like rubbing bags. It's giving me very that energy.
Okay.
Sergeant Prowl.
Every man you've ever slept with on Grindr.
If you're over 45, let me know. Close. He's like an army body with like a cat head. He kind of looks like, you know, from Toy Story, like Sid's like weird.
Yeah.
It's giving very that. It's very like he's got like a stuffed cat head on his head, and
Sure.
he's got like an army body.
Yeah.
Very odd. Astral Mirage.
Astral Mirage.
This is the character that I saved up.
Astral Mirage is the person that writes the star signs that they have on Channel 7 News every night that my boyfriend makes me watch.
Astral Mirage is the name that they call out at Baby Drag at Molly's on Thursday for their first time in drag. Welcome to the stage, Astral Mirage.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And they do Paris Hilton, Stars Are Blind.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Paris Hilton, by the way. Great new album.
Yeah.
Anyway, sidetrack.
Kicking goals, babes.
Tell me about Astral Mirage. What is that name?
I told you. She writes the star signs, the horoscopes for Channel 7 News.
You're actually not too far off either. So she basically looks like a cyberpunk woman, like pink with like cyberpunk. She gives very like Lady Gaga from The Rain on Me
She sounds like fun.
Well, that's why I got it.
Did you unlock her?
Yeah.
Oh, you
She's the
unlocked
one I
it?
got. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because I saved up. I played a bunch of games. And, okay, sidetrack again. When you play through the game, when you collect those pink things, they disappear if you lose the level. So I had to play through the level a bunch of times just to save up, just to get her, and then realize she was shit. Because
Look at the dedication you have to our show. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. Just so proud of you right now.
Fuck off. But she was very fierce.
What a guy.
I will give her that much. She was very fierce.
Yeah.
And then the final character, Noir.
Noir.
French.
Oh, I was like, no, I won't say what I was going
Don't
to say.
say what I know what you're going to say. Don't say it.
I don't know what he's talking about. Noir is a croissant that solves mysteries.
Croissant.
Croissant.
No. Close though. Not at all, actually. It's basically just like a male figure that's completely shadowed and has pink horns.
Oh, he solves mysteries.
No, he does none of the sort. It literally is the laziest character design. And so based on those, first of all, they're not worth the time that you sink in to get them. They're worthless. They're like microchips.
I think
No,
we
not
probably
microchips.
spent more time describing them and guessing what they are than the developer actually put into designing them.
I would put a good amount of money down to say that he just said, hey, ChatGPT, can you tell me 5 random character designs? And he coded it off that. I would put very good money down.
And we know who you are, by the way, and that's coming up very, very soon.
It will be coming up very, very soon. You better fucking
No one's going to buy your game ever again.
count your fucking days. The hours that you took out of my life, it's over for you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know your address.
so I'll touch briefly again upon the graphics. I noticed that there were basically no textures on anything. It was just a bunch of solid, like Kahoots Maker style. Remember that game? So fun. But also the character models don't move when you do actions. So when you're shooting or when you're not shooting and you do your special move, your arms stay locked out, whether it be you jump kicking or ramming, which I think is a bit of a fault. And also the hypercolor of the game is just very egregious to the eye. I hate it.
Do you mean offensive?
Egregious.
Egregious.
I'm dying on that.
My
hill.
eyes are egreged.
They have been egreged. And then the final thing that I wanted to touch on before we ask how gay is it gay, is the fucking sound on this game. I actually disconnected my headphones and said I'm not playing it.
Did you notice the didgeridoo?
I actually I was like, oh yeah.
I was like, am I hearing didgeridoos right now?
So I wrote here on my notes, the first level, Acid Trip Nightclub, and the second level, Didgeridoo Rave. Exactly that.
I was like, hang on, I'm kind of into this.
It was, I know I've been wailing on the game, but I was kind of vibing to it, and I was kind of like, all right, representation. I know, right?
Yeah, that's right. There's a bit of culture happening in
I
this.
don't know if Indigenous Australians would be happy to lend their music to this game. But
No, they would not.
No, but it was very odd. It was very odd choices. It was very AI generated, like I mentioned with the characters. It just seemed very nonsensical. And I know the game's supposed to be this like noir, like futuristic setting, which is nothing. This is a regular train. It's a regular passenger train. Nothing noir about it.
I don't think it's a passenger train.
Well, it had compartments for people to sit in.
Yeah, it also had cargo sections and boxes and
a guy with a samurai sword at the end.
and no locomotive.
Yeah, they had a mini boss at the end that sucks shit. He has like a sword and he sucks shit. So, but that comes to the segment Make It Gay.
Make it gay, make it gay. If you take it up the arse, make it gay.
Yay.
I might not include that part.
Please do. It was very funny. He talks about butt sex. So,
Gay humor.
there's nothing gay in it. There's nothing gay. In fact, to associate this with being gay would be a homophobic hate crime, I think. Oh,
Hello, I'm back.
he's back. It was going to be my podcast. The only thing is that Astra is very fierce. She's quite fierce.
Is she the one you unlocked?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I specifically went for her because I'm gay.
Yeah.
But even then I was like, oh, you're just there to market to the male gays and not the gays. The gays.
Oh, okay.
There we
Yeah.
go.
As in the eyes.
To all my podcast listeners, I mean like the eyes, not the homosexuals. Yeah. I did a little hand thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
sometimes
He
forget.
sometimes forgets that this is both video and audio, which is fine. No, look, I was almost, even when I was writing the script for this episode, I'm like, do we? And when I say script, I mean very loose outline. I was like, is it even worth including the make it gay? Look, the final question though. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Is it a hidden gem?
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
It's a hidden ripoff, is what it is. It's a hidden scam, is what it is.
It is absolutely a scam.
Which I think leads pretty nicely into your past.
All right, so this is a special segment which we're calling Davey Investigates.
Insert the gif of is it
Carmen Sandiego?
no
Sherlock Holmes.
the Jackson.
Michael.
No, his sister. What's her name?
Janet.
The other one.
Latoya.
Latoya.
Fuck, I'm glad we got there in the end.
I'm so sorry, Latoya. And she's got the Cluedo.
No idea what you're talking about.
I will in post. Anyway.
Okay, so, all right, special investigative report. Who are VRC Forge Studios? So, I have found out that they have only released games on the Switch, and they've released 14 Switch games in the last year, which range anywhere from $2 to $30.
Wow, rip-off times how much is 2 divisible by 30? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, anyway, we spent $1.99 on fucking a hotline screw me up the butt. Not what it was called.
In this economy as well.
In this economy, yeah. So anyway, their other games include Stunt Scooter Simulator, Survivor Heroes, World War II Airplane Fight, Cup Killer Sandbox Game, Animal Buddies, Party Beasts, Gearhead Karting Simulator, and the list goes on. So I'm like, why have they only released 14 games on the Switch in 2024? And who are VRC Forge Studios? So they are they as an organization, they were only incorporated on the 5th of September 2023, with their registered officer being in the suburb of Hornchurch in Greater London. So I kind of looked it up on the map.
London.
It's kind of northeast of London.
Ew.
And anyway, but there's an address there, right? If you look up VRC Forge Studio, I'm not going to tell you the address on the air, but you can go and Google it.
And don't, by the way, tell anyone where you found this information.
No, it doesn't really matter. But no, it's out there, right? You don't need me to fucking tell you.
I'm not taking you for 2 pints ever again.
So, anyway, so there's an address. I Google Maps to the address. It's just some old house.
It's just some guy's house.
Just some guy's house. Sold in 2003 for quite a bit of money, and looks nice.
It's all right.
No, I found all the land evaluations and everything on this house.
What did you go to? This is what you did instead of playing the game.
Oh my God. I doom scrolled this like you wouldn't believe. By the end of it, I was like, they're eating the dogs.
They're eating the cats.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. And they're giving transgender aliens transgender operations.
Is that your Donald Trump impression? Sidebar. What?
They're eating the dogs.
They're eating the dogs.
It's much more dramatic than that. Anyway, I looked up, I was trying to find some contact details. I wanted to reach out to this company and ask them, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm just picturing you leaving.
I want my $1.99 back.
I'm picturing you leaving an angry voicemail you fucking bitch, I know where you live.
Exactly, you're going to be a story on Sunrise.
I'm going to the media.
Yep. Anyway, so look, there is a director registered. Their name is Grig. One word. There was a surname. Anyway, a Romanian name. I found a few people with the individual's full name. I could not tell if one of them was this person or not.
Mm-hmm.
So VRC Forge Studios. Anyway, the trail at the moment is looking pretty sus, right?
Yeah.
So go to their website. They've got a website that mentions that they're specialists in porting of games, but offers very little detail about
Importing?
No, porting.
Oh, sorry. I
Porting.
thought it was mail order game or something that I'm getting from I was like, what? Importing what?
I don't want to read it. So
cut that out. Oh my God.
So anyway, there are a few AI written blurbs about the company on the website. An AI you can tell an AI generated image, right? Okay, there isn't. I've used some AI images in the logos for this podcast. I know what they look like.
Couple extra fingers.
Yeah. But anyway, so it doesn't list any names of executives, founders, and so one of the blurbs is about their process, right? And I want to read this for you. Here's an example of how they describe their so-called engineers. This is from the website word for word. Embark on a gaming odyssey with VRC Forge, where our team of technical wizards, known as engineers, transforms challenges into triumphs. These skilled individuals possesses the artistry to make the impossible possible, weaving a tapestry of seamless gameplay that transcends boundaries and platforms. With a commitment to excellence, our engineers meticulously craft gaming experiences that captivate and elevate, ensuring every player is immersed in a world where innovation meets unparalleled performance. Unparalleled performance? I was in a parallel universe compared to what these fuckers think that they're actually doing.
I'm pretty sure we have a court case on our hands with this refund.
This is out fucking outrageous.
Okay, first of all, I want to note two things. First of all, they've used processes incorrectly. And why are engineers capitalized?
Because it's a name. I don't know.
Is it? I think it's a profession. I don't think it's a name.
I just love that the team of technical wizards known as engineers.
Thank God for them spelling us out for us laymen's.
Yeah. And look, and there's a few other bits and pieces like that. And there is a mention of 3 upcoming projects. And no mention of any of their existing games.
They want to do some sales from their own games. That's funny.
So I went a step further. And okay, short cranky tweet. I don't have Twitter. X.
It's called Twitter.
So I played 2 of their other games.
You did? That was what you would do? I was like, Davey's got too much spare time on his hands. He's diving into the fucking all-rich soil underneath this guy's house.
I downloaded 2 of their other games that were $1.99.
Oh my God.
Game number 1.
Oh, I didn't see this when we read the script.
Oh God. So I wrote, Pixel Retro Drift Arcade Car Racing was the first one.
Full name? Is that the full title?
That is the full title.
Fucking hell.
Now, okay, on the surface, really quite bright and colourful. It looked...
Story checks out.
The visuals actually had a bit of charm on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a racing game. It's a car racing game.
Can't go wrong. Tried and true.
But then you just kind of start and nothing is explained to you. In the first race, you're literally just trailing behind another car that's shooting missiles at you for no reason.
This guy loves just being under attack. All these games seem to just be being under attack.
Yeah, and you just can't avoid them. It's really weird. And anyway, so you get past that pretty easily. And then you just move on to a whole bunch of other races in different environments. It's meant to have a retro kind of style to it. I don't really quite get where that comes from. You need to get first in a race to proceed.
Oh, so you have to win.
You have to win.
You literally have to play to win.
There's no Grand Prix. You just keep progressing through race after race after race.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here was the first thing I noticed because I very rarely came first. I quite frequently came second and third. The reason why I say that is because, second is 2 and a little N and a D. So when I came second in this game, it was a 2 and a little S and a T.
Oh, so they were like,
I came second.
No one's going to come less than first. And then you came along.
Well, no, I just think they really didn't care.
Oh, yeah, that's probably more like
Yeah, look, you can build up drift. So, you can, little drift mechanics that build up a boost, which is really hard to do because the car actually slows down on hills. That was a nice touch. But the game makes it impossible to win. And that happened in Hotline Carnage, Miami, Florida, has way too many votes in the Electoral College.
Okay, we're going into a different podcast.
Yeah, sorry. Reading the dogs. So this game could have some arcade charm to it, but it doesn't. Now, I didn't stop there. I got another game of theirs. So I got Shadow Blade Night Symphony.
Oh my God, I feel so edgy.
I know. So this kind of looked cool, right? So the graphics had like a late 90s or even like a mid-90s first-person shooter kind of inspired feel to them. Like, sort of like a Doom crossed with Quake, kind of Hexen kind of thing. And it had, the movement was all parkour based. So, run and sprint, jump off walls.
Kind of like
a
a Assassin's Creed or even like a Thief, like where like you're climbing over stuff and like.
Yeah, but shit.
Okay, well, Thief wasn't like that, but
Yeah. So anyway, look, it was quite simple. Like you had this kind of you could kick the enemies.
Oh yeah.
You could kick, mind you, if the enemies hit you more than once, all the way back to the end of the level.
Oh, it's that thing again.
Yeah.
Good.
But you also had this little little whip.
Oh.
And if you whip the enemies, you could just stand away from the enemies and whip them.
Oh,
right.
hot.
And I actually got through a few levels in this. And I was like, okay.
You can actually play games, everyone. Did you hear that?
I was like, this this is literally awful.
Yeah.
But I'm going to see how far I can get. And again, by the third level, the parkour mechanics just broke down. I could not figure out how to proceed, and I gave up again. So I have a conclusion here. These games have all been generated by AI. We were talking about that before, and I did some
totally
research.
agree. Yeah.
And it is, so you've heard the term shovelware before?
No.
So shovelware is literally like we were talking about the straight to video movies. It's the straight to video games, right? They are just piled on poor quality and they're just designed to rip gamers off. And it's actually quite awful. And I found that so you can generate code for games using AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini and all the rest, right? So I literally think old mate of Hornchurch is I literally think this is and I'm piling shit on our mate here, but the Switch store is fucking
filled with them.
It
is. I actually hate going on the Switch store for this exact reason.
Okay, so these companies are making cheap games, imitating other games or well-known titles that are almost always on special, and they are designed to trick people into coughing up their hard-earned cash. Right now, here is where I get on my high bloody horse.
Get up there.
Exactly. So this was a huge problem on the Wii because the Wii had a massive install base.
Sorry, you have completely changed tone and you are passionate.
I'm like, well, no, because this literally we've been taken for a ride and we need to unionize against this. Okay, so I don't know why we would unionize.
We should rally in the city.
Exactly. So no, it was a huge problem on the Wii. The Wii had a huge install base of families and young people, and they knew that they could just get mummy and daddy to go, oh, this looks like something that little Johnny will want to play.
He likes that game, and this one's a cheaper version.
It costs $10, and I'm a tight ass who works for a consulting company.
Hi, Mum.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, and it's escalated on the Switch, right, with the digital storefront. And what is worse is, so I noticed that VRC Forge do not have their games on other storefronts because other storefronts offer refunds within a limited period of time, right? And this on the Switch, all sales are final. So I am literally saying that these people are scammers. They are taking advantage of Switch users and its large install base. Nintendo, you used to have really strict quality control standards, for better or worse, and you have allowed your store to be filled with complete and utter shit. Please be on the lookout for these titles. Do not give them your money, as they 100% do not deserve it. And I am actually being full serious here because before we started recording, I was saying to Mitch, I'm like, this is actually something we need to be on the lookout for on this show, right?
Yeah.
We do actually want to find cheap games
that are worth your time.
It's fun to rip into them.
Yeah.
But this was a different level of bad, and I actually feel bad for giving these my money.
And I think like we were talking about it just then, where this is kind of my first foray into trying like pretty bad cheap games. And I think it was a really bitter taste to start with. And I think it can only go up from there. But we did talk about it where I think it's almost worth us letting the listeners and people watching know, like, these games are not worth buying. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Yes, finding hidden gems is good, but also finding the shit and the schlock that people are probably getting looped into is pretty important too. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to be caught buying these shit games just for the kind of quality I get. So
yeah, and and when we do the bargain watch list, you'll see, okay, there are some real bargains out there to be had, but some of the telltale signs of these games that I was looking up were the actual discounts, right? So they're almost always 90% off, so you feel like you're getting a bargain, but they actually only cost $10 full price.
Yeah.
So, but they're always $1.99, which most of VRC Forge Studios games
$1.99.
right? Yeah. And they're always designed to look kind of like maybe something quirky, something indie, something fun, maybe like something you've seen before, like Hotline Miami.
And they do kind of wow you with the colors and like the cool like shots of the gameplay, but it's nothing like that. It's nothing of the sort.
Yeah. So anyway, I actually went, and I think that we actually have decided as a result of this serious tone. Serious. Wow, we can be really serious.
Wow, so serious. A couple margaritas in, I am very serious about margaritas.
Okay. But we've decided like we are going to be a little bit more discerning
Yeah.
in the future about the games, the bargain games that we choose, right? Because even I don't mind if we play something that turns out to be not that good.
Yeah, we can laugh at it.
I'm just not giving more money or more effort to fuck knuckles like this.
I think, and Davey's good at this. Davey's really good at researching, and I just show up. But he's really good at looking into the background and finding out the soil type of like houses where these developers come from. So now we know what to look for. We know the kind of the telltale signs.
I know what breed.
And you've imported it. You're like these bastards. But it's good to know. We kind of already know now the warning signs, so we can definitely do a bit more due diligence before providing our hard-earned money to these scammers.
All right, I need to calm down.
Gotta get him another pint.
Actually, I could do another drink after
I could go for another drink after this.
I could go for another drink after this. Anyway, it's time for the bargain watch list. Bargain watch list. It's a watch list of bargains.
Did you know it's a bargain watch list?
It is a bargain watch list. Oh my God, Mitch, have I got a bargain watch list for you this week?
Fuck, I'm ready to watch this list.
I have got it. It is a list that you should watch, and you should just go and download these games. So this is our all-new segment where we recommend some games that are currently on special for you that you actually should go and buy. Go and buy these games because they are really, really well worth playing. So I've got 4 games to recommend this week. So the first one I'm actually going to recommend is Civilization 6. Now, this is an oldie but a goodie and is currently 90% off on the Nintendo eShop for only $4.97, or you can get the complete package with all of its DLC, which is quite a lot of content for $27.98. Now, Civ 6 is an older game, and by all accounts, runs quite well on the Switch.
Yeah, when you said Civ 6, I just had like a Vietnam flashback because when I was in high school, my best friend, shout out Jazzy, by the way, he used to be like, I'm playing Civ after this. And I was like, do you want to go and get drunk on Goon instead? Nah, Civ 6.
No. And look, there are other Civ games out there. But anyway, if you are a big fan of turn-based, big strategy games that span millennia, Civ 6 is still a classic. It's still very playable. And for $4.97, portable on the Switch, well worth it. The second game I want to recommend is, so before Mitch joined the show, this was one of the travel specials that I did that I played on my way to London. So the game Inside, I would actually like to get your thoughts if you played this.
Yeah,
So,
well, it's nice and cheap. It's only $1 more than the shit that we paid for today.
And it's good. So Inside, which comes from the same developers as Limbo.
Oh, is that the one with the spider?
Yes.
I love that game.
Inside is 90% off on the Nintendo eShop for $2.99. Such a great game. Just a real quirky, melancholic kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Make up your own mind about what's actually going on in the story. Dystopian kind of
Is
shit.
this the one where you're in a little raincoat?
No.
Oh, okay. That's a different game. Don't worry.
Anyway, third game I would like to recommend on sale at the moment on Steam. So Steam has actually got a really good PlayStation Classics sale on. They've got Horizon Zero Dawn, the complete edition, for 75% off for $18.73.
That's a good game.
That is a good game.
Good game.
It is actually a good game. Good open world game. So if you have never played Horizon, or if you want to play it again, I guess.
Where have you been, by the way, if you haven't played it?
$18 is a steal for this game.
It's still like when I go and see this is just the original. Yeah, it's not the second one as well.
Zero Dawn is the original, isn't it?
Yeah. I was saying because it says complete edition. So
either game would be great at this price.
But I was going to say, I'm pretty sure either game is going for almost full price. Like, I don't think I see Horizon Zero Dawn, the original one, under like $60.
Yeah.
Like, it's still good.
Yeah, so complete edition, which I'm assuming is DLC and all that kind of crap, $18, $18.73 Australian cents. The fourth fourth and final game I'm going to recommend is the Borderlands Handsome Collection. I love the Borderlands series. So it's currently 60% off on the PlayStation Store, only $17.99. That includes 3 games.
Wow.
The original Borderlands, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the pre-sequel. I actually love Borderlands the pre-sequel. If you get some mates to download it, so much fun. So much fun to play with a few friends.
Is this, do you reckon this 60% off is in relation to the really bad movie that came out? Or
I avoided it. How dare.
It's going down in history as another one of those really bad video game movies.
How dare they?
They've ruined it.
Who's in it? Who's like...
Kate fucking Blanchett is in
Girl!
She just needs to pay down her 4th house or something. She's taking
Seriously?
I love you, Kate Blanchett. You're never going to see this.
Lord of the Rings, United States of Tanya. Never saw that movie?
Nah.
Oh, show. Anyway, what was that one that she was in that was really fucked up?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, sorry, never mind.
I'm just too busy thinking about her talking about that mirror. It can see things
Hereditary.
Hereditary. She's not in Hereditary. Are you talking about the same Kate Blanchett I am?
No, that's not Kate
You're
Blanchett.
thinking of Toni Collette.
That's Toni
Australia's own. You fucking idiot.
Kate Blanchett is Australia's own too. I just got them confused. I'm not including that.
Please. That's an out. That's definitely like an outcut.
Okay, anyway, Borderlands The Handsome Collection, 60% off on the PlayStation Store, $17.99. You get 3 games. It's wonderful. Mitch.
Fuck, thank God this is coming to an end.
This has really been quite the evening. What have we got in store for next week?
Oh my God, do we have something in store for next week? So our next game will be selected from one of the many long-standing free-to-play offerings that there are out there. We're going to see if we can still break into it without feeling compelled to cough up any of our very hard-earned cash that apparently we give to these other shit studios.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do Genshin Impact.
Yes, is it Genshin?
Genshin.
I keep saying Gershon.
Yeah, you say it wrong every time, and I didn't want to correct you because I was hoping you'd go first.
Oh, so you thought you'd wait until the record button had been hit?
Then you're going to be cancelled. So we're going to play Genshin Impact, which I have had a very, very brief stint with, and I'm excited to give it a proper go, like an actual go, instead of just like a once over.
I downloaded it this morning just to see if it was the game we should try, because I really want to actually have some fun with the next game we review.
Not pull her own hair out. What little I have left.
And I was like, yeah, this is very kawaii. Well,
that's all we have time for today.
See you next time on The Bargain Bin Gamers. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a big thumbs up on YouTube or follow the podcast wherever you get your podcasts from and leave us a 5-star review. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky and follow along on our live Twitch streams. You can also continue the conversation in our BQN podcast Discord by clicking the link in the episode description. Don't forget that the Bargain Bin Gamer is part of a larger network of podcasts called the BQN. You can support this and other BQN programs by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/BQN. We'd love to hear your feedback on the episode. Leave us a comment on YouTube or send us an email to bargainbingamer, GAYMER, @gmail.com. Until next time, au revoir.
Double T Media.